You may be vacationing wrong if you and your family are feeling disappointed, burned out, and there's a bit of pouting and tantrum throwing amid all of this. And of course, nothing is perfect. Of course, there are hiccups, disappointments, lots of things out of our control. But honestly, having a bit of faith that things will work out is such a large mindset shift that I had to do. Are you ready for your next tip? Let's do this. Hi, everyone. You are listening to Beyond, and I'm your host, Dr. Flora. Listen, life is hard. You don't have to do it alone. As a mindset coach, physician, mom, and an infertility warrior, I have mastered techniques to help move you towards contentment and growth. I can't wait to go along with this crazy ass life journey with you while making sure you feel like your best self. This podcast is meant to have you feel unstuck from your rut and less alone. Let's do this. Hey everyone, hi from London again. Last time we talked about every family member having one checkbox that they wanted to fulfill for the trip. And of course, there were specific guidelines for those checkboxes. But this is to save time and save us parents from disappointment and tantrums. It's all about setting expectations, which leads me to today's helpful traveling tip. Okay, this is twofold, all right? One, set low expectations. And two, allow for flexibility. Now, let's focus on the first one. We all want a wonderful, memorable trip, right? So, setting low expectations doesn't mean expecting a horrible trip. It means don't aim for perfection. So, let me give you an example, and you let me know if this is you. You are at work, you're tired, life is lifing, and you just happen to open Instagram. The first reel or story that pops up is someone traveling to a beautiful destination. They are posting peaceful photos, peaceful videos with dreamy music in the background. Them and their family are going from one hot restaurant to another. They're seeing all the sights, taking pictures, visiting, making reservations. And then you say to yourself, damn, I want that. I want to go explore. I want to go relax. I want to take those peaceful photos and videos. I cannot wait to do all of that on our vacation next month. Now, do you see what's happening? You are romanticizing, my friend. And this is not your fault. This is what social media does. We romanticize over snapshots and we romanticize over someone else's social media highlights. Look, traveling is stressful. Let's just put it out there. More now than ever. Flying is stressful as fuck with unexpected delays, planes breaking down, helicopters falling from the sky, asshole passengers, burnt out employees. Don't expect perfection. Do you ever feel like you are juggling a million things at once? Especially if you are a business owner. You're trying to grow your business, but also, run your business. It can feel like you are drowning in your to-dos with barely a moment to breathe, let alone dream bigger. I have been there. Now, look, I tried hiring a gamut of virtual assistants, but it often felt like there was just one other thing on my to-do list. I had to spoon feed tasks, constantly check in, recheck their work, and still worry about things slipping through the cracks. It wasn't until I found Savannah and Natalie at Everay Virtual Solutions that I truly understood the difference between help and the right kind of help. They have extensive marketing, development, and executive assistant backgrounds so they can take the weight off of your shoulders so you can focus on what you do best, being the visionary. Book a free discovery call on their website and mention this episode for a 10% discount for your first 6 months. Head over to everyvirtualsolutions.com. That's EVERAE virtualsolutions.com. Whether it's web design, content creation, email management, social media, PR, or anything in between, I know you will find a way to work together to lighten your load. It's time to end the burnout and start focusing on you. Now, this is a general life lesson. Everyone has issues. And because we are not expecting perfection when we travel, and because we'd like to set our intentions, meet our check boxes, it is imperative. This brings me to my second part of this tip. It is imperative to build in time to allow for those travel blunders that will happen. Be prepared, be smart about it, plan for it, get travel insurance, build in breaks, set reasonable flying times, allow for rest and jet lag and downtime. Pre plan that shit so you don't feel like shit. Okay, so let's take this London trip as an example. When we vacation in general, and when I'm trying to plan alongside Sanjay, my husband, we separate our days into two blocks, AM and PM. Pretty simple, right? I use these blocks to max out our reservation and or appointments to one activity per block. Now, you're probably listening to this being like, what? That sounds crazy and simple and boring. Like, what the hell do you guys do all day if you're just doing one thing per block? But I'm telling you, if your intention for a travel vacation is to explore versus a relaxation veg out trip, then you must leave free time for these blunders to happen. I mean, transportation hiccups, train delays, fatigue, jet lag, illness, cancellation. And the more people you are traveling with, there is an increased probability of all these things to happen. So, like I said, we had one reservation per block, whether it was tickets to go see a museum or a restaurant reservation. And then we would fill in free time with last minute reservations or last minute appointments or last minute exploring or literally just walking around and exploring and going into random shops because that's the nature of London. And with the exception of one day, because transportation delays definitely happened, we weren't rushing. And look, if you're trying to get into a highly coveted appointment, reservation, restaurant, then do those in advance and have that as your one activity per block. And like I said, the rest we can kind of just go with the flow. So for our London trip, we had one restaurant reservation for lunchtime. We knew it was going to probably take everybody a little bit of time to get going in the morning, and we didn't want to rush anybody or have anyone in a bad mood. So we went to that reservation. It was amazing food. The Tamil Prince, by the way, highly recommended in London. And later that day, we walked around, we explored, we shopped, we stopped by different shops for matcha and for chocolates and for shopping. But then in the evening, we realized we had a lot of extra time and we bought tickets to go see the London Eye at sunset. Now, if we had already booked something else or if we had already booked a timing to the London Eye, we definitely would not have had time to explore and to walk into shops. And actually, during that day, we met one of Gia's check boxes for the trip, which was to try a British branded chocolate. So all of these things end up working out if you keep your plan flexible and if you keep your expectations low. Perfection is not the goal for any vacation and for life in general. That's it for 5 Minutes with Flora. I know this was a really simple, straightforward one, but I really want you, if you're planning for a trip, I want you to stick with it. Break your days up into AM and PM and just use one reservation or one appointment per block. And I want you to test it out. I'll be doing one more of these 5 Minutes with Flora in London, so stay tuned. And also, as a quick ending, don't forget to follow this podcast on your favorite listening platform. Leave a quick rating or review, and please, please share it with one person, just one, because I know they will find this helpful. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, remember, mindset is medicine, my friend. Keep showing up for yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for joining and spending your precious time here with me. As someone who prioritizes her energy, I am so grateful that you chose to spend yours here. To help me help you, please take an extra 30 seconds of your time to rate and review the podcast on your listening platform. For more tips and a behind-the-scenes look into my life, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Flora Sinha. That's Dr. Flora Sinha. Finally, connecting with you truly fills my cup. So DM me on Instagram, email me at florasinhamd@gmail.com, repost if you love this episode. I love hearing from you. I am so grateful for you and cannot wait to be back for the next episode. Bye.